Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your RBP Gang, RBP Nation, RBP Boxing, RBP MMA. And today I'm coming at y'all with the immediate UFC 303 press conference reaction. Just gonna go through some stuff that I took note of throughout the whole press conference. Right off the bat, I mean, y'all can see MVP, Michael Venom Page, and Ian Gary were the stars of the show. It's kind of clear that the fans are into it. You know, the back and forth with MVP. Gary came out with like some big info talking about accusing MVP of trying to get having a leak in his camp, trying to get some information about what he's doing, how he's training and stuff like that. We've seen some stuff like this like in boxing with Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Tank Davis, talking about there was a leak in Ryan Garcia's camp, stuff of that nature, like saying that he had a rib injury just to get information. So, Ian Gary said that, he's lacking that confidence and that MVP is trying to get information. He's not confident in his ability, just, flat out. So that was really interesting. I don't, obviously innocent until proven guilty, but MVP didn't deny it. So, but at the end of the day, too, if he would have freaked out and denied it, a lot of people would be like, oh, he's guilty. So I think he handled it in a pretty good way. Some other stuff I took note of. I hate that I almost hate that Dana's at the press conference. I wish there was just no one there. I know he has to announce and he's the promoter and stuff, but I hate when the promoter gets so much questions because I feel like they take away from the fighters. I mean, he wasn't I think he got 2-3 questions, but that's 2-3 too many. You know what I mean? In my opinion. So, and then I think these are honestly just gripes about press conferences in general, but too many people, bro. If I had to cut it, I would say Macy Chasen and Amara Bueno Silva don't need to be up there. We don't need to hear from them. No offense, no anyway, but there's no storyline. They're not going to talk too much trash. Amara Bueno Silva's English is not the best. Macy Chasen. I mean, it's just a fight on the card. It's a very close fight on the card, but just doesn't need to be there. MVP Gary deserves to be there. I think Ortega Lopez being in the co-main event slot, okay, per Prohaska. Anthony Smith and Delice don't really need to be up there. I mean, Delice had his little moment. They were talking about Georgia beating Portugal. Shout out to them. And then Anthony Smith. But he didn't. I was expecting more from Anthony Smith to go at Pereira the way he's been talking on the broadcast booth, being like, oh, I don't really see what the hype's about. He's always talking stuff about Pereira. But I didn't see any of that when he was right up there with him. I was expecting a Izzy Strickland moment, Izzy Strickland Pereira, well, that guy knocked out that guy. Something like that, just to, I don't know, just to get the banter going. I mean, you had the opportunity, you're on the card. But we didn't really get any of that from Anthony Smith. I was expecting that. Because if you're a lot of people are building the fight. They think Anthony Smith could hop Magomed Ankalaev. Well, he's not doing himself any favors. He's just sitting there not saying anything. But, he's a company man. He's been showing up, so maybe he'll get that shot. Let's see. What are the normal? Oh, yeah. Brian Ortega, pretty nonchalant up there. Not really talking too crazy. Just, he was just basically saying, we're going to see what it is. We're going to see what it's about. Not too fazed by this kid. I'm just going to go out there and try to get that knockout or get that finish. But then he brought up the point, Brian Ortega brought up the point about getting a 300, I think a reporter asked it. I forgot what his name is, but he mentioned basically, let's give what do you say, 2 fight of the night bonuses. Is essentially what he said. And then Ortega interrupted and he said, make them 303,000 each. And that's too much, man. I don't know. Because I think 300, they said 300K. I understand that, but we're only 3 months removed from that. So, but by the way, the UFC has so much money to burn. They got a lot of money. They could be giving out way more, but they have certain amount of money that's allocated to bonuses. So that's kind of, that's the way they run their business. So but after that, Dana White said, F it, he'll do it, but then not the 303,000. So maybe we could see 2 fight of the night bonuses on the night. Maybe it'll be 100K each. Maybe it'll be 50K. I don't know. But it's International Fight Week. It's almost like the Super Bowl for the UFC, but they already had the Super Bowl with the UFC 300. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. What was I going to say? Shades of UFC 300. That little moment where everyone started cheering. My favorite moment of that was Aljamain Sterling. I love Aljamain Sterling, but I don't know why he was cheering when they announced that 300K. He was the most excited of everyone. And then he did what he did. Very good performance against Calvin Kattar, but that's besides the point. Shades of that, everyone on the stage, or at least, certain people started cheering. So, that's cool to see. And I think that's really it. I mean, you could just see from the fans, MVP Gary is the fight that the fans really want to see. They got the most questions out of everyone, out of any fight on there. So the fans really want to see that. The media is asking a lot of questions about them. We saw some questions about the BBL Gary song that MVP made. Questions, for, Gary about, his confidence and stuff. So, a lot of booing for Gary, man. It seems like he's not the fan favorite. A lot of people love MVP. And yeah, that was pretty much it. That's all I really got. I got some notes about, oh yeah, I feel like he subtly confirmed it, but he said, I think Dana White said, between the main event and the co-main event, we're going to be trying to decide who the fight of the night is. And then that prompted the question coming from the reporter. But I feel like in that, he kind of just confirmed that the co-main event choice was pretty much just based on excitement. Because I feel like in a perfect world, Ian Gary and MVP should be co-main event. You saw the hype that's around those two guys. I think those two guys are bigger names, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But you can see the hype from the fans. The fans are excited for that matchup. There's banter in that. It's a huge fight, and it means a lot. Not that the Ortega-Lopez fight doesn't mean a lot, but, you got Ian Gary, undefeated star, and you got the new signing that you just got. Ortega is out the door. He doesn't even want to compete at featherweight anymore. And Lopez is a relatively new name to the division, but he's a rising star as well. So having them in the co-main event slot, it seemed like it was just off of like, okay, this is a guaranteed banger. That fight might be a little bit boring, but I don't think it should really operate under that. If anything, that should be, obviously you're selling a product, but I feel like you just got to trust in that. So, yeah, in a perfect world, you open up the card with a banger in Ortega-Lopez, and then the co-main event is a marquee matchup that, maybe could be a little bit of a snoozer, but it's a high-level matchup, and the fans are excited for it. You just build up that anticipation as the card goes on. So that's what I saw there. And I guess the last thing to end on was this funny moment. But I don't know if it's funny. I think Yuri Prochazka genuinely believes, he keeps accusing Pereira of like using black magic and to not use black magic, let it be a fair fight. He thinks that like that's giving him an advantage and stuff like that. But my thing is though, like, if Yuri Prochazka believes in that, why doesn't he just use his own black magic? That's what I never really understood. Like, if he believes in that type of stuff, he should be using his own type of advantage. Because I seen a video or some short talking about it, but Adesanya used like some juju. They believe in that type of stuff. And they have, West Africa, Nigeria, that part of the world, they have like juju, you know what I'm saying? So they have their own rituals over there. And, Izzy loves to tap into that type of stuff. He's really big on manifestation and all that type of stuff. Same with Pereira, but, obviously different cultures have their own different things. But Yuri Prochazka, I feel like he's really big on self-belief and his soul and, confidence. Then why doesn't he just, like, use his own black magic or use his own, like, stuff or use his own voodoo if he believes in that type of stuff? That's what I don't really understand. It feels like just a big excuse. Like, maybe you're just not better than him. But he could prove it Saturday night. But just to use that as a cop-out, like, you only beat me because you use black magic, let it be a fair fight. Like, bro, it's a fair fight. But anyway, everyone has their own beliefs. I'm not gonna, disrespect him or whatever that, he believes what he wants to believe, But I mean that's why they're fighters, They got their own, beliefs, they got their own things that it gives them that edge to step in the ring and do what they gotta do. These guys are not like, they're not normal people, they're fighters, man. They think a little differently. So I mean, as much as we like to care, it's like they have these characterization things, like what's their favorite TV show, what's their favorite to try to humanize the fighter. But a lot of these guys, man, they're not regular people, man. Like, they're, it takes a special type of person to step into the ring and get punched in the face or knock someone else out, and deal with those emotions and deal with the contrast of getting knocked out to getting hit in the face. So it takes a special type of person. So whatever Yuri has to believe to get in there, same with Pereira and all the fighters, it is what it is. But overall, decent press conference, not the best I've ever seen. The best, I think the last best one was like the Strickland Izzy Pereira one. That was pretty good. And then I don't know, it's been some time, man. I don't know. We really don't get those like fiery moments in the UFC, I feel like. But hopefully we get some in the future. This was decent, nothing too crazy, but that's all I really got for y'all today. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, peace out, subscribe. You know what it is.